Hello, in this video I want to cover active units, which are replacing exports. So as a kind of the most important change to RMS3 is this idea of active regens or active fuel breaks, and it's just a way of marking a unit as active in the database, and that allows the iPad or the iOS app to then display that data. There's a lot of data in here, so it's a little easier for us to manage the size or quantity of the data on the iPad by, not just displaying all of the data. So this replaces the import-export routine that you're used to in RMS2, and it's kind of the benefit to using a proper server-based database. This is all part of this kind of live update that we're going to be able to do now, where we don't have to wait for nightly mergers and things. We don't have to pass data back and forth with CSVs and SQLites and things. So that's kind of the background, but let's just show you how to do it. As you can see, I just have the regen list up here, and I'm going to assume that we aren't trying to just send out everything possible. We just want to work on potentially one THP. You could do this with several THPs or just individual units, however you want to do it. So let's just make a filter here. I've been kind of using this Dodge one, just sticks out to me. So I'm just making a filter, typing in Dodge. Here's Dodge. Now you can see we have a filter, 22 records. I'm going to just press this button up here to select all of them. That's just going to load them on the right side. It's just kind of a feel good to look at them. You don't have to view them on the map. It doesn't really matter. But you do need to select them all. So assuming that these are what you want to uh, view on the iPad, you would then right click and set as active. So you can set as active, which creates a new set of active regens, and that's kind of important because you can also append to active regens. So if you've been working in one area and you want to keep those on your iPad, but you also want to add new units to the iPad, you would select some new units and append to the active regens. You can also view your active regens here, show active regens. And at that point, if you wanted to select some to remove, you could remove from active regens. It's also possible to set active regens for a contractor. This would be the equivalent of giving them an export or sending them an export so they had something to import onto the iPad. Anyway, this is a little bit more streamlined. We have all the contractors here, so you just select the units that you want them to work on, and you can assign them there. I'm not going to do that right now. Do look up draft activities. That's going to be a topic that is pretty relevant to everyone, and especially, potentially, especially anyway, the contractors. So draft activities. We'll get back to that later. Okay, so we want these. I'm going to set those as active, and that's basically that. I am going to remove this filter just to show you that we have some active regen units now. Show active regens. And it makes a filter on this column active unit. It's a Boolean, so it's checked, meaning obviously that it's active. Because this is just a column, you could sort on this. Let's see here, descending. So you can actually, you don't necessarily have to use the show active regen units if you have, there's just two ways to do it there. So we have our active units. They are in fact marked. So now we can go to the iPad. And those are user specific active units. So you have to sign in as yourself. Go to the import export screen, which is right here. Pull that up. And we're just going to press this sync button. Sorry about that. Okay, sync. So we'll let this sync. It's going to pull in all of the support table data, all of the activities associated with those units, and obviously the geometry of those units too. So you can actually close this, or not close, but say done, and kind of watch this populate. You can see up here it says it's still syncing. Obviously, there's no data there yet, but it will slowly populate. Okay, there's our 22. Um, we do have 22. You can see the G cell on the map down here. So it's going to take a second or two to bring all of those in, and then you'll be able to work on them. I'm just going to pause the video while I wait for this to sync. Okay, just a few more seconds there. So that's basically the essence of it. Now you can see all of the data is on board. Nothing else really has changed in here. There will be another video that kind of goes over other aspects of this, but I'll just finish off this video by saying once you have these on your iPad, you're basically ready to do work as you normally would do. So the only new features in here really are this filter here, which is a pencil with a line through it that has to do with draft units, which are in a different video. And this filter here can apply filters, so you can, if you only want to look at units with site prep activities, planting activities, and so on, you can make a filter from there. Also, briefly, I'll just say that if you are to add a record here and you were to fill in this information and save it, just keep your eye up here at the top of the screen. See it says exporting. Because I'm using Wi-Fi right now, I have internet connection, it's going to send that data back immediately. So the export process, there's no real export button. You can see this as all exported. It's going to do that automatically. If you're in the field and you don't have internet, it will just hold on to them until you get back to internet and then automatically push them off. So getting them back to the database, getting them back to desktop is very straightforward. Really just bringing on new units. If you have marked anything else as a new active unit and you need to bring that on, you just press the sync button. So that's really all there is to it. All right, thank you.